Hey friends, I shared on my social media stories that I had gotten in some vintage books, letter writing books, and I got a lot of questions and just comments and fun comments from you all. So I wanted to share a little more in depth of some of the vintage finds I found this last week. So I'm going to start with one of the older ones. This is the Gent's Letter Writer. This is published by the Arthur Westbrook Company, and they have this whole series. It looks like you could pay 20 cents for a copy, and this one is from 1902. And so it just has these really fun kind of like social rules for letter writing. There is general advice, letters of business, letters of pleasure and friendship, letters of love, letters of duty and trust, relationship, various occasions, writing for the press, improprieties of expression, phrases, mottos, idioms, abbreviations, and quotations for various occasions. So I kind of flipped through. They're all so fun just to read and see the differences. I'll just kind of show you a couple here if you want to pause and read. Permit me, this is someone recovering from illness. Permit me, my dear friend or my dear lady, to express you my joy at your recovery from your late severe illness. I feel that your loss would have proven a sad shock to your circle of friends, and can now but express the hope that you may long be spared to render happy the home you adorn and the circle to which you are endeared by the ties of warmest friendship. Believe me, sincerely yours. You guys, isn't that so much better than sending an emoji or text? That just, it just does my heart good. Okay, and then one I found a couple pages back I thought was interesting. Yeah, I think it was this page. A complaint for long silence. I thought if you're just getting into letter writing or you have a pen pal, I thought this was a fun one. So this was dated as an example of 1860. My dear Stanley, why do I not hear from you? It is now a long time since you have received my last letter to you, yet you make no reply, just as if you either cared nothing for me and your friends here, or thought we cared nothing for you. Try and perform your duty, write, and thus reassure us of your remembrance of us all, and open the way for us to write to you again. Ever yours, Edmund Thornley. And then let's see, there's a couple. I thought, maiden to her deceiver. Sir, whoever, wounded pride, shame, mortification, and humiliation. Let's see. Feelings should call upon me to be silent over your perfidious betrayal of my affection, but the heart which you have flung aside and so ruthlessly injured, is not one to bear its wrongs in silence. I have loved you deeply, truly, as a pure woman only can love. I have lavished kindness upon you, which proved how utterly my soul was given up to you. I have taken your kisses and caresses as if they were mine by right. Yet here I sit today to know that you have cast all these aside, to leave me in misery, alone and comfortless. Oh, may a just heaven torture your heart as mine is now torn. May you feel the pangs of a tormented conscience for the great unredeemable wrong you have done to my heart by your shameful desertion. I have my honor unsullied, but what shall restore to me my lost peace of mind, my ruined hopes, my betrayed affections? Nothing. And I here bury them. I place over them a broken cross, and I shall pray day and night that no peace shall be yours until you return to the altar which you have now so heartlessly deserted. May there come to me some good out of this experience. To you no good ever can come. Nevermore yours, Laura Fielding. Isn't that just a little gem in here? Pause and read this other one if you'd like. Letter of advice from a gentleman to a lady. Maybe we could all take a little advice from this fun little Gent's letter writer. Again, by the Arthur Westbrook Company. This one's from 1902. Let me see if I can find one more quick one to share with you. Back in the back are some fun quotes that you can use. Let's just see if we can find a couple here. If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere were it were done quickly. from Shakespeare. Something about beauty from Shakespeare. Age cannot wither her, nor custom stale. Her infinite variety, other women cloy. The appetites they feed, but she makes hungry what most she satisfies. So fun quotes, definitely a vintage style. It's fun to see how things were kind of written and the words that they used. Oh, I was just scrolling and saw this word folly. We don't use that word anymore. We don't use a lot of these words. But they're so eloquent and well versed that I think we could take a literal page out of this book and practice our snail mail letter writing. So if this entices you, let me know. I can share some more. I just think they're just true gems, and I love this book that I found. Moving on, I have another one. Actually, let me skip to this one here, the New Century Standard Letter Writer. It is another one that was done in the 1900s, early 1900s. It includes commercial correspondence, so a lot of like applying for positions. Let's see what that looks like. Applying for a situation as a matron in an asylum. That could be interesting. Let's see, page 40. So these are all kind of business. To the lady president of the Board of Managers of St. Agnes Orphan Asylum. Madam so-and-so, I beg to apply for the situation of matron at the St. Agnes Orphan Asylum, advertised as being vacant in one of the morning papers. I am 43 years of age and have filled for the last 8 years the position of superintendent of the dormitories in St. Teresa's Home for Girls in such and such. I thoroughly understand the routine of management requisite in an institution of this nature. I enclose 3 testimonials as to character and capabilities and trust that you may be induced to give this application your favorable consideration. I think in today's world, if we had a little bit more of this tone, I think we'd get a little bit further, right? Let's move on. So that was the business. There's family correspondence, love and marriage, and then social intercourse, and then invitations, formal invitations, and that kind of legal forms, the official like invitations, how you should address them, and then some foreign language. So I'm just going to flip through and see what we can kind of find here. To the baggage master, to his tailor. Dear sir, the Prince Albert coat you sent me yesterday is a misfit in every way. It is too large across the shoulders, tight under the arms, narrow in the chest. The sleeves are too short and the collar is full of wrinkles. Considering that I was measured for it and that it was subsequently tried on, there is no excuse for its fitting so badly. I have this morning returned it to you, and if the alterations are not made to my satisfaction, I shall of course decline to keep the garment. Yours faithfully. Okay, I'm going to show this one here because it has a lovely sample of penmanship. So this is private business, and this one, it says, it looks like it's about a school. Let's read it. Dear readers, this is a sample of business writing. Oh, okay, so this was to a private information about schooling. So this is in this section. Business writing written easily and rapidly with the combined movement and a coarse pointed pen. So here on the end, this D and this T, these are at the end of words, which I include in my penmanship course because you'll find them in these vintage samples, especially the running T's on the end. It is as simple as is consistent with ease and legibility and can be written continuously for any length of time without fatigue. This style is the natural outcome from the study and practice of the standard forms. Very truly, C.L. Ricketts. So I'm always looking for these historical samples that I can share in our cursive connection course, which I'll link below if that interests you. Some family correspondence, housemaid letters. This one could be interesting. A young lady to her fiance. My dearest Howard, I have been so wretched of late, thinking you did not care for me as you used to, that the joy of receiving your letter and learning that I still hold the first place in your heart has been almost too much for me, and made me shed such happy tears. It is so hard to doubt one you love, and it seems that I have tormented myself quite unnecessarily all these past weeks. Still, you must admit that there was some excuse for my making myself miserable. What was I to think from your silence and from all that was said? Dearest Howard, believe me, I will never doubt you again. Never, never, and shall always think you are the kindest, dearest, best, and truest of men, and that you are all my own, now and always, your loving Anna. Okay, and then I found one back here. Oh, I actually hadn't seen these before, but it looks like maybe some samples of someone. Please accept. Okay, letters of condolence. Okay. Yeah, maybe someone was practicing some words here. I'm going to have to decipher these in another video to pay tribute to his memory. And so hard to tell what may be told without seeming to make a parade of friendship and a spectacle of grief. Impelled to pay tribute to his memory. Oh, that's so special. Okay, and then let's see what these are. Okay, so these were samples of bereavement letters. And another, it looks like maybe this was, another sample from a newsletter of how to write bereavement. So this is stuck in the section right after some sympathy and bereavements, and this person had just collected some samples. I wish I knew what year these were from to share with you. Let's see if I can find a year here. This is April 22nd. I mean, we could look it up. If you're out there watching this and you know off the top of your head when the 4 sailors and Marines at Veracruz passed away, that would give us an approximate date of this newspaper clipping. Okay, moving on. Because I had bookmarked this one here. Which one was I going to show you? Inviting. Yeah, this is the one I was looking at. Dear Mr. Lloyd, inviting a gentleman to a garden party. Just something different than we see in today's society. We are planning a garden party at the Laurels for Thursday evening next, and it would afford us all great pleasure if you could make it convenient to be with us on that occasion. We hope for a goodly company. The Dixons, the Mathers, the Wilsons, the Broadbents, and a host of other friends with whom you are well acquainted are expected. The reception will be given in honor of Harold's return from his trip to the Rockies. We shall be delighted to have Brother home again, and he, no doubt, will be glad to be back among his friends. We hope nothing will prevent your coming. Don't be late. We shall have croquet and tennis, of course, and if the promise of the almanac holds good, and there should be a full moon that night, the boating will be charming. Yours very truly, Lina Taylor. All right, and I want to show you a few clips from this one, How to Write Good Social Letters. This is one of the newer ones, but it was published 1938. So types of social correspondence, parts of a letter, best English to use, punctuation and capitalization, the appearance of a letter, kinds of stationery, we'll glance at that one, formal invites and acceptances, formal letters, informal letters, personal business letters, children's letters, telegrams, Christmas cards, letters written by famous people, and general information. Let's look at 87 kinds of stationery. I don't know if you enjoyed this vintage little glimpse as much as I did. Let me know and I'll share some more of my finds coming up. Good stationery is suitable stationery. It need not be of the finest quality, but it should be appropriate in size and color to the purpose for which it is used. Women's social stationery comes in a variety of sizes and shapes. It goes on, men's stationery is usually larger. It should be folded twice before placing the envelope. It talks about legible penmanship, margins, just a lot of fun things that definitely are not even considered in today's world where we send text messages and emails. I was going to read this one here to you. You can hear the verbiage. Dear Aunt Alice, dinner by candlelight is a particular fancy of Robert's and mine, so we were especially delighted with the beautiful silver candlesticks that you and Uncle Richard sent us. We both want to thank you very much for your kindness in sending them to us. I am sorry that Robert's mother told you that we exchanged them, but I hope that you know the reason for this. You will not think us ungrateful. You see, our new apartment is just about the size of a child's playhouse, and therefore all the furnishings must be small in proportion. Our dining table is large enough to accommodate only one of the pair of candlesticks, and even then we would not be able to use all 7 candle holders. We didn't like to put them away until some time in the dim future when we might have a beautiful long table of gleaming mahogany worth of displaying them. So we exchanged them for a less imposing pair which can be used even in our small apartment. These are of sterling silver and an old colonial design, and each of the pair holds 2 candles. I hope you, too, will like them and will not be annoyed with us for this exchange. Again, please accept our thanks for sending us such a perfectly lovely gift. Sincerely yours, Grace. And then I wanted to look over at the children's letters section. I thought it was just a fun section. It says parents are not so likely to see their letters, so it's important that the right sort of beginning is made during the period when supervision is not questioned. Here's some suitable letters for children to write. Here's this one here if you want to pause the video. I'm going to come over here and read this one. Dear Grandma, I caught a fish. It was so big I couldn't lift it off the hook. And I'm going to pause because it gives you this sample, but then it says actually the above letter was written as follows, and it has the phonetic spelling like a child might do. Dear Grandma, I caught a fish. It was so big I couldn't lift it off the hook. It wiggled his tail and flopped all over the boat. Dad took it off the hook, but I didn't catch any more. I hope you are well. I love you, Margie. Dad said it was a great big minnow. And the fun part here is that it reminds us that Grandma will keep that letter. In today's world, emails get deleted, texts get deleted, but letters, handwritten letters, are personal heirlooms that can be kept forever. So it says when Margie grows up, it will be a most interesting souvenir of her childhood, the more so because of its spelling. While verbal thanks from children who receive gifts are generally heartfelt and enthusiastic, the thank you letters that they write are, as a rule, extremely stilted and laborious. Suppose an uncle gives a 10-year-old boy a bicycle for his birthday. Most normal children would burst out with something like this. Jiminy crickets, Uncle Bill, thanks. Gee, but that's a corker. It's the slickest bike I ever saw. Possibly you could write a letter something along these lines. Dear Uncle Bill, for about 1,000 years I have wanted a bicycle the worst way, but I didn't see any chance of getting one. So you can imagine how tickled I was when the expressman brought that Pippin yesterday. All the kids in my gang are offering me jackknives and turtles and old auto licenses to let them ride it. But so far I haven't even let Johnny Bass ride it, and he's my best friend. When you come to see us, you can ride it as much as you please, and that's how much I thank you for it. Your loving nephew, Tom. Anyways, a great book, How to Write Good Social Letters, some fun vintage mementos in here. It's fun to see, again, how they wrote their letters and how they talked and what verbiage they used and how important letters were. And again, I want to reiterate that emails go away, texts go away. A handwritten message shows how much you love and care about someone, and it's something they can hold on to forever, and it will truly become a personal heirloom that they can keep to pass on for generations. And then I did get one other book in this last haul that I found. I'm always on the search for original Palmer method books, because if you know, if you've been following, I have the Cursive Connection course books. I have the original set from the early 1900s that has all the readers and the teacher manual. But I recently found this. This is book 6, Cursive Writing the Easy Way. It's a progress book, and it is 1963. So a little bit of an older version, but still the same methods. I'm just going to do a quick flip through so you can kind of see. This is the type of cursive that I am teaching in the Cursive Connection. Of course, with my own little spin on it, I add a few variations, but I'll just keep showing you here. Here's what it looks like. Very different than modern day cursive. And so if you're interested in a handwriting course, or if you have children or grandchildren who haven't learned cursive, I'll leave a link below for the Cursive Connection. In the back here, we've got some letter samples. It says, everyone enjoys receiving letters. It is not fun to receive a letter that is illegible. For additional practice, write a letter to a friend. I was visiting with a friend last night who was talking about how they had to send letters on their mission trip, but their brother had such bad handwriting, and he had such bad handwriting that he was the only one that could read his brother's bad handwriting. No one else in the family could. So every week he'd be the one to decipher what his brother wrote home about. Anyways, I love penmanship. I believe that it is a lost art, but still a very, very crucial and critical skill, especially to be able to learn to read it and decipher it. Our historical documents have cursive, and there's just so many things that you need to understand and learn cursive for. So if you're interested, again, I'll put that link below. And the Palmer method, this is the award that they got. And another sample back here. Here's a sample improvement writing, how they started, how it's going, and their submission. So a fun resource to compare our handwriting to, and something I will continue to pull resources for our own course. So I hope you loved getting a peek into these vintage books. I enjoyed sharing them with you. If you want to see more from inside the books, or you want to see my next haul, comment below and let me know. Let me know which one was your favorite, and I'll be back for more. Thanks so much, guys.